Hi friends, my name's Brooke and I'm going to be doing a video for the Elmwood Library. We are going to be painting today. I'm using a 16 by 20 canvas and I'm using 3 paint brushes. The first one is my daddy brush or my papa brush. It's a 1-inch bristle brush. The second one is a number 6. The daddy was a 24 if you use numbers on your brushes. The mama brush, medium, is a number 6. It's a little cylinder brush. Go get it against the white background. And then I've got my little liner, my little detail brush. There we go. So teeny tiny. Perfect. I've got clean rinse water. I'm just going to pop those in my little water cup. There we go. Swish them around. We're going to be using acrylic paints today, which are water-based. So I've got white, black, red, yellow, and blue. Perfect. Okay. So the first thing that we're going to do is mark out where we want our painting to be. I'm going to paint a flower today, so you guys can paint anything that you want. I'm going to start out with a little circle. I've got my mama brush with a little bit of black paint on it. And I'm going to do right down here in the bottom left corner, little circle of black. I'm actually just going to go ahead and fill this in. Sweet. Okay. Fabulous. And feel free to pause the video if you need to. I'm going to kind of whip through it. If you guys have any questions at all, you can always get a hold of the library. They know where to find me. Or you can find me on Facebook and just ask yourself. That's fine too. All right. So right now it's March. So I think I might do my background with some green. So before I mark out where my background's going to go, I'm going to mark out where my petals are. So I'm going to go about 3 or 4 fingers down from the top of my canvas. And I'm going to do a big petal that comes right back down to my center. When I do flowers, I like to work my way around like a clock. So first I do like from 12 o'clock. That would be straight up. Then if I looked and I found 6 o'clock on my little circle, I would go down from there. So there we go. Just trying to keep them even. Right here, that would be 3 o'clock. And then 9 o'clock is going to be somewhere right over here. Now I can kind of go through and fill in. Every time I put my paintbrush back in paint, I'm dipping it in my water again so that it's nice and wet. And then I'm stirring that drip of water into my paint so it's all consistent and fully coated on my paintbrush evenly. Just giving you notes as we go. Okay, now I'm going to do one that's diagonal, that comes out diagonal. Between these, I'm going to try to focus on keeping it the same length and width as those. Okay, there we go. Pretty good. Okay. Water, black paint, stir, stir, stir. Nice and slippery. When my paint is at the right consistency for the first layer, it will look shiny. It will look a little bit frothy. It's got some bubbles in it. It's going to look a lot thinner than when it came out of the jug or the tube or the bottle that you got it in. Now, some of these aren't going to go all the way down because we're going to have run out of room, and that's A-okay. Okay. For the bottom part down here, we can kind of just add in lines. There we go. Just coming straight out from our little flower center. Okay, I feel pretty good about this. Maybe this a little bit sharper here. Okay, there we go. A little bit sharper. There we go. Okay, so while we let the black dry, what I'm going to do is the background. The way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to start with the lightest section of my background and then get darker and darker. So what I want is the brightest, happiest green I ever did see for my green for the background. So I am going to do like 90% yellow, and it's going to be a big blob. Big blob. I would say this is the equivalent of 4 or 5 peas, like the vegetable. I'm setting that off to the side on my palette. I would show you guys my palette, but it's like really gross. Okay, I'll do it anyway. You guys talked me into it. Ugh. So much paint. Okay, here we go. So I got my big blob of yellow there. And then I'm going to take just like a little bit of blue, like 1 pea, and stir that in. So it's like 1/5 maybe of blue. 1/4, not even 1/6. 1/6 or 1/5. So I've got this brightest green, right? So what we're going to do is, this is the medium green that we're going to use. So I'm going to scoop some of that off to the side, and I'm going to mix in like 1 pea or 2 peas worth of white to that. Exact same color plus white. Okay, you'll notice that it got much lighter all of a sudden. Now I'm going to drip 2 drops or 3 drops of clean water into it and stir that around. Let's even do a little bit more. 4, 5, 6. Stir, stir, stir. Okay, I'm seeing the consistency I want. So I'm going to go ahead and start this. So the darkest part of my background will be this bottom right corner. The lightest part will be right up here. So I'm going to start right here. There is no right or wrong for the brush stroke on the background. I'm going to use my daddy brush. I'm just going right down in between each of these little flower petals. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to focus on doing about 1/3 of the background, and I'm moving just like that. Okay, so right up here is all this bright green. If your black isn't quite dry and it's mixing in, that's okay. Give it 1 more second to dry. Grabbing a little more water, grabbing a little more green, the very lightest green that we made. Okay, now I've reached almost the corner. Now it's time for some medium green. So I'm not washing my brush, not getting any water. I'm just scooping up the medium green. I'm going to apply it here to my canvas. That whole section is going to be my medium green. Got a little more. If you're having trouble spreading it, that means you need a little more water or a little more paint. If you can see the texture of your canvas through the paint that you're applying, that means that you need more paint and more water. If your paint is running down your canvas with drips, that means you've got too much water and not enough paint. There we go. I know this is a very bright spotlight that we've got on today, so I hope you guys can tell a difference. If you're painting yours and you're like, Brooke, there's no difference between my light and my medium, add a little more blue to your medium. I just did. Mix it up, squish it in there real good. And then while your paint is still wet, that's very important, while your medium paint is still wet, just do a few little brush strokes through it. Oh yeah, way better. Okay. And then I'm just going to put some loosey-goosey ones down towards the bottom so that it doesn't just like stop abruptly. Okay. Now, I have a dirty brush here. It's got the green residue in it. All I'm doing is scribbling over the paint where they meet up, where my light and my medium meets up. I'm literally just taking this dirty brush and doing little squiggles through it so it all gets blended together, okay? Again, the brush strokes, there is no right or wrong. I'm doing squiggly, little scribbly brush strokes. Sometimes I do X's, sometimes I do curly Q's, sometimes I just do horizontal or vertical. Just depends on what mood I'm in. Apparently right now I'm feeling a little silly. I'm just kind of scribbling. There we go. So hopefully you guys can tell this side is very light, yellowy white. This side is getting a little more medium, and down towards this bottom corner, we're going to go with a dark green. So I'm going to add now this size scoop of blue, 2 more peas worth of blue to my medium green. Oh, that's a dark green. Okay, here we go. I squished them all in there. Here we go. Okay, so it looks really good and I love it, but the medium green and the dark green where they meet just kind of sit on top of each other. So like, how am I supposed to get them to blend? We know the answer to this. We scrub out the brush in our water. We scrub it against the bottom of our cup to get all the green out. Scrub, scrub, scrub. Now I'm gonna rinse it or dry it on my towel. Scrub, scrub, scrub on my towel. Clean water in my brush, clean water. Okay. Now I'm just taking this damp brush. I kind of tapped it off on my towel, or on my desk, on the edge of my desk. And I'm just taking this damp brush and going right back over with my squiggly little scribble lines, okay? Here we go. Okay, I'm gonna pull a little bit of this darkness up into my medium so that it doesn't look like it just starts and stops so abruptly there. There we go. Oh yeah, loving it. All right. Rinsing out my brush really, really good. So I want my flower to be pinkish purple. Just reminds me of spring. We have like a tree outside of our house that gets pinkish purple flowers on it. So the way that you make that is you mix up purple, but with like way more red in it. So like this much red. Looks like 2 or 3 peas worth. Then 1 pea worth of blue and 1 pea worth of white. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh, let's do 2, 3 more peas worth of white in there. Oh yeah, that's way better. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I've got this medium to dark purpley fuchsia color. What I'm gonna do is lay this down as my base. I'm gonna put a little more water in it. There we go. Filling all of my petals with this color. Okay, great. So we've gone through and we've filled all of those petals. Now, what I'm going to do is take a little bit of blue and red and mix up some dark purple, no white in this one. And mine's not quite dark enough because my colors are a little bit light. So I'm taking just a tiny bit of black and putting that in there too. A little more red. There we go. That's definitely purple, but a dark purple, like a plum. So red plus blue plus black. I've got it here in my mama brush. And what I'm going to do is start at the center of my flower and pull towards the outside. Okay. Carter, honey, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for my phone to charge.
Okay, hon.
Oh yeah, and I also
The puzzle? Just leave it for now. I'll be down in a minute. Thanks. Okay. So I went through and added a bunch of darker purple to the center. I literally just fanned it out, and then I tapped with this mama brush right over where the black and the dark purple met. And now what I'm gonna do is take just that dirty mama brush and get just a little bit of black on the end and do the same thing, but kind of mini, on a mini scale. So we're just gonna make these about half as long as that darker purple that we just put in there. Grabbing just a little more black with no water in it. Putting these in just about half as long as the dark purple ones we just put in. Okay. I'm kind of making sure to flick so that it gets a nice tail rather than just being flat at the end. Okay. Okay, then I'm just going to take a little more black and I'm just going to tap where this round of black started. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Fabulous. Okay. Rinsing out this mama brush really good. Okay. Our next step is going to be taking this dark purple and focusing on where our petals overlap. So it looks like this harsh black line is in front, so that means this petal's in front. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this dark purple on my mama brush and run it right under that line where there would be a shadow on this next petal. Okay, so I'm just going to work my way around here. There would be a little shadow there and there. Okay. Now I'm just taking a brush with a little bit of purple residue in it, and I'm just going back through to blend, soften any of these shadows that we've just put in, and the lines between those and the regular color on here. Soften, soften, soften. This is just a damp, clean brush. It had just a little bit of purple residue in it. I'm literally just scribbling over all of this with this brush so that it erases it and goes on in. Sweet. Okay, next is to grab the very lightest purple we can make. So that would be filling your mama brush with purple and then swirling it around in the white, just like a pea size of white. There we go. And it's gonna make a dusty light purple. Yay, I love this color. Okay, so now this color is going to go anywhere where we want it to look like the sun is hitting our flower. Or it's lighter. So I'm just gonna focus like right along the edges. Okay, grab a little more. And again, I'm putting this on anything that is like over the other one. So I'm kind of lining where the division goes in between our petals. Okay, again, I'm gonna wash this out. Use the brush with just damp and clean. If you need to get a little bit of the medium purple on there to blend, because some of yours might be dry, that's totally fine. Just go right back over the inside part of your white line. It'll soften that right up for you. You can take just a little bit of that medium purple and go right over it. There we go. Still got that nice, crisp, clean line, but the inside is a little bit softer. There we go. Sweet. Okay. Deep breath. The next part I'm going to do is mix together 1 pea's worth of white and 1 pea's worth of yellow to make a light yellow. Cool. Now all I'm going to do is take this yellow and do the center real quick. And I'm just gonna do like little smiley face shapes. And they're all kind of at different angles, but they're all still smiling. There we go. Okay. Grabbing just a little more yellow, and then I'm gonna go the opposite way through them. Still parentheses shapes. Sweet. Okay. And then I like to take the yellow and also and this is the yellow and white. I'm sorry, yellow and white mixture, not just yellow. These are a little more spread out. There we go. Okay, and then I'm just gonna mix up a little bit of pink, which is just half white and half red. In fact, I'm gonna go just a little bit lighter. I'm gonna go 2 parts white, 1 part red. Still very dark. How about 3 parts white, 1 part red? There we go, that's what I was looking for. Okay, and also a couple drops of water to thin it out a little. And then just so that it doesn't look quite so flat or boring, I'm gonna take a little bit of this pink and I'm just using that mama brush, dragging it down, following the curve of the petals. blending it into my purple. Awesome. And then I'm going to take just a little bit of black and just do some little X's through the center here to kind of break up our little smiley face motion. Just literally doing X's. Still got the yellow color underneath. Just little X's in here. Sweet. All right, guys. Don't forget to sign it. I'll see you next month. Thanks for being here. Bye.